with education and edutainment. That is our key elements about it. This is a space and a place I am extremely passionate about. Unfortunately, I don't get much time to spend on it. This morning I was handling work stoppages by business forums, so that's my life generally. So we've got a vision, and it's a vision that we inspire to. And when we have designed Go Durban as a program, everyone thinks of Go Durban or our Rea Vaya or whatever you want to call it, our public transport systems, as a bus system. But in the Go Durban system, essentially, and it's about a bouquet of public transport services or services. But at the core of it, we still have community. And really, that is what we're about, because we've got to fit around the community and make sure we work around the community. Active mobility, which you'll see in the middle there, is a key focus of today's discussion. But we have edutainment, which helps us learn about the other elements of our service. But we also then have around the community education. So, we're very strong on no homework, no ride. It's as simple as that. So do your homework first. But it's fun. Part of the thing which I'm presenting here, and I want some of you to pay attention to, and I raised a question in a discussion yesterday where I said, packaging is an important thing when you're trying to leverage money from government or programs. This is the thing that we've packaged. I'm from government to then leverage money, and we have funded our program. Also, who's coming with us on board with this program is KfW Bank. So hence, they're actually our partners in this program. So it's come together quite nicely. So when you're packaging, you're going to pick up a few things, some ideas here. So what you've got to always do is you've got to always pick up the buzzwords that you're trying to pick up as an organization or as a city. So for us as a city, which ties in really nicely in what we want to do, is we want to be Africa's most caring and livable city. But what does it mean? We have to have a socially cohesive society, creating sustainable livelihoods, environmental sustainable city, accessibility and safe city. It's something that we've all spoken about in the last few days. But bringing it back then to our Go Durban pillars, well, what does this mean? Obviously, from an infrastructure perspective, when you're building public transport, there's a lot of concrete. So we've got our environmental offsets, we've got rehabilitation and maintenance of green spaces that we have to do. We have to respond to our EIAs, job creation and community development. So we've got very strong aspects about it. So construction is the one pillar we need to respond to. From our active mobility side, we've got to provide more access to the various opportunities for both education and employment, ability to access the urban infrastructure, because that's really sustainability, and then increased use of our feeder network, because NMT is a feeder system, and that's how we view it. And then obviously healthy lifestyles and creates cross-cultural integration. The guy that I work very closely with is Utabi Manyati. And we always joke about Swat Khafar, and it's about breaking down that culture that we all want a human race and we fit together. And through sports and through active mobility and through bringing our cultures together, it's such a beautiful thing that these barriers fall away and we start living together. And so it's a big thing that we try. From an operational perspective, obviously on the sustainability side, it's increased public transport usage. If we use active mobility a lot more, we need less vehicles. So you can see that your capital cost you're saving here brings it across there, and then your carbon footprint. When we look at our role of active mobility in our public transport system that we've designed, on this particular one, active mobility, it plays a role, an infinite role in your public transport service. Mojo Cruise is another program I run, which is a taxi service, and then I build the infrastructure. But at the core of what we wanted to do, and this is where we started grappling with it, where are we, what's our space? So we've got green spaces, and we looked at our ecosystem around the Go Durban ecosystem. We want people to learn to ride, we want to give them life skills and academic skills. But there's nothing stronger than trust. So if you're a mother or a father and you bring your child to our academy, and we have 450 children, they come to the Go Durban Academy. If you can trust your child with us, to learn and ride a bike, there's a connection in your mind between Go Durban and your child and trust. So when Go Durban comes on as a public transport system, there's a trust element that you're building, and it's building that bigger, broader framework of trust that we're trying to do as well. So essentially what we're doing, we create employment and job opportunities, and that brings money into the households. We create access to the Go Durban network through our feeder system and our active mobility. We have edutainment. Edutainment is a very big part of us, and we create awareness and understanding of the Go Durban bus system. And then we provide the access to opportunity ultimately. And the underpinning thing of this, it's about trust. And that's where we start and finish on it. Around the cycling sustainability, obviously human power is obviously still the most sustainable form of travel. We still want to learn to ride. We understand the rules of the road and safety. Director of sports for us, Sean Pesh, always said, often we blame the motorists, but we've got to introspect as well and look at the cyclists. Access to feeder systems, confidence in using the Go Durban system, break down the stereotypes around public transport and the middle class. It's a very big thing we have to do. Access to opportunities and social cohesion. We really want to create that space. Obviously, other objectives that we keep on trying to achieve is create greater awareness and understanding and acceptance of the Go Durban public transport system, develop mindsets around active mobility in local communities, provide a platform for youth empowerment through active mobility, influence perceptions and choices from a young age, and achieve an holistic upliftment of sustainability within community impact. So why this program is imperative to the city is that we achieve the vision of building Africa's most livable city, building a foundation of trust, contributing to youth development through active mobility and education, and contributing to the environment, and really creating sustainability there. We had obligations as Go Durban. We had environmental offsets. What we did is we put them all together, and there's a fancy word, we banked them. And then we, instead of fixing one corner here and one corner there, we put them all together. We're trying to fix the Pisang River Valley, which is going to take good time. But we're focusing it there, but within there we've got active mobility else. But our second obligation on the Go Durban environmental side, obviously the social development and obligations that we've got. And that brings our active mobility right into play. So straight away, when you're going and you're applying for funding from government or wherever, it's not a nice to have, it's a must do. So there's the first differentiation that we need to create. So when you go to your leaders and say, it's not a nice to have, because this is what NMT active mobility, it's always kind of a nice to have space. And we say, must do. So when we go to environmental affairs and they approve our EIAs and WULA, you can help us by saying part of your offset is social cohesion, and this is a must do. It helps us then when we go, part of you approving our environmental creates that space. So it's about driving these different spaces and how it helps us also and the people around, how you package. Our plan is very simple. We've got key pillars. We've got youth development, which is our foundation for empowering the girl child. We've got the first Black African female mountain biking team. They also do gravity sports. Apologies. Job creation, we've got quite a few coaches now. You'll see the numbers later. And community impact through social adhesion. We've got, we also have now included musical theatre, because musical theatre is a very big part of confidence and being able to talk and stand in front of people. And this has been so successful. It's also very special, you know. And part of the musical theatre is teaching road safety. It's edutainment on how to use various things. So obviously we're then looking across a holistic space of active mobility, edutainment and education. And those are really coming together quite nicely. So you can also then accommodate other people. We've got different role players, and I have to be honest, Green Corridors, who I mentioned yesterday, who have got that network into the community, are very prominent. Special Sports, who is the director of sport, Sean, he was the manager of Alan Hatley, who's our under-23 world champion in mountain biking. He signed him when he had Bulhazia. No one wanted to sign it, but he understands talent, which is really excellent. We've got the Young Performers Project, which is really good. And then Tennille Taylor, who's our marketing communications director. Without these people, this project wouldn't happen. You need people with passion who believe. So what do we have in the academy? We've got the cycling development. It's got maximum social impact. At the moment, we've got about 450 kids on it. And one of the questions I raised yesterday, what is the metric we look for? And do we put 16,000 children on bicycles for 1 hour? Or do you put 450 children on a bicycle often, and that's where we are. So we do about 2,000 hours of cycling a month with all our children. So it's a lot of cycling. It's a metric we're proud of. But we allow people to participate in different goals. So you can just be a basic fun cyclist, like anyone who wants to cycle. We've got a local racing team, we've got an elite racing team. So what we're trying to do is from grassroots develop what we really have as our key riders. But obviously more importantly is creating that bigger pool of social riders who will then use active mobility. We've got academic support which we provide, and we're looking at Varsity College and Durban University of Technology. Life skills and mentorship is quite important, especially for females. We try and focus a lot on them. I won't go into the details there, but it really needs a lot of support. Learning to ride, we teach people how to ride. It's quite fun seeing a youngster getting on a bike and balancing and falling. Ride safely, ride for fun, ride to work, ride to race, ride for healthy, ride to save. I mean, that's where we are. So we're really trying to encourage it. And you see that bicycle there, forget the brand. It's nice when you're seeing that bicycle whipping the backside of a 55,000 Rand carbon frame, full suspension bike in a race. I love it. It makes me really happy. Our program has changed, so academic support, we used to have one class, 1 day a week where we had academic support. Now we've got 3 days a week which we're going to. We also are now including mathematics and science. We tested where we had a few children, we took them into a school. It didn't quite work, so now we're bringing teachers to the people, and it's working quite nicely. And the environmental side, and I think it's a lot about environmental today. We spend a lot of our children help as giving back, as picking up environment and plastic. I don't know how many tons of plastic we've done. And then Bluff Meats, who's one of our sponsors of our men's team, then we have a big bra afterwards to celebrate, and it's human scale stuff. It's really fun, but there's ownership, and we look after our human spaces, because a big philosophy around our green spaces, we want to use them to travel, because there's no cars there, so we're driving that. Obviously around edutainment is a very big part of it. We're really enjoying that. We ran a show with Young Performers Project last year called Curtain Up. It was stunning. And we have community shows, community events, teaching people about everything, but mainly around road safety and that. And there's obviously the community activations, and it's providing us with tremendous satisfaction. Trails, we look after a lot of trails. We had our Go Durban 100 race, built by the community, by the people in the network. And you'll be surprised by just people building trails, how much they cleaned the environment, how many tons. And this is the part which we've got to get right, is that creating the space where people create trails who can enjoy our environment doesn't necessarily destroy it if you do it correctly, actually enhances it, because the amount of litter and rubbish you pick up by creating that space is really amazing. And then when people are in that space, they use it more, and you'll naturally look after it more, so it's quite exciting. We had our event, we had about 500 riders in the first event, which was quite nice, which created a lot more awareness around what we're trying to do as from the academy and the Go Durban perspective. We had a lot of benefits that we looked at. So what is our impact? So the purpose of the program is to empower young people and young lives. We're doing that. We've got bike mechanics, we've got super coaches, we've got teachers, we've got athletes, we've got female gravity athletes, we've got, you name it, we're really cross-cutting there. It's quite nice. Are we meeting the outcomes and imperatives that the city is looking for? Yes, we've increased the pass rate at schools, we monitor the reports, we've increased cycling as a culture, definitely by a country mile. We're preserving our green spaces as trails and environmental side, and our social integration is going really nicely. And what I do find quite exciting is, like at our commercial site, we've got 40 mothers now riding who want to ride. So all of a sudden you've got that triple bottom line effect happening, which we want to do, and it's also around trust. We've got a growth strategy where that works out that way. We've got 4 sites now. We've got Qualitative, Commercial, Nanda, and Chesterville. And each of them have got a pump track, they've got a classroom, they've got a kitchen, they've got a whatever else in place, which is the basics that you need. So if you look at what our investment overview is, we invest quite a bit of money into it, but we've got almost 700 people that directly benefit from this program. There's a lot of people that benefit and they're part of it. But if you look at then the employment that you create, and the people that are now going to be communicating with your politicians to approve things, this is the stuff they look for. Employment breakdown, all of that stuff. So you can see through the academy, we've got 2 management people, 2 head coaches, 4 caterers, 8 bike coaches, 16 tutors, 30 trail workers, 4 maintenance, and 12 security guards. In the arts and culture, you've got the numbers on the environmental side, and the children's wilderness is another program we've got that comes together. Our measurement of impact has been quite significant. It's still a bit of a hidden gem which we've got within our city, but it's doing quite nicely, and we've got a good outreach. And we're building it up slowly. Testimonials are great. I mean, you know, one thing I can say, we had 4 other children in Wine to Wales that sponsored us on events, and it was really stunning. You know that when we send one of our people there, no matter who they are an ambassador. You don't even have to coach them. They are ambassadors because that's the culture of what we breed and what we're trying to do. I've got a few more testimonials. I can't read that, but I want to leave you with this last slide. Creating trust. The ultimate trust starts with a child and a parent at the Durban South Academy or Academy now. Community, trust the developments in the community where social economic benefits are achieved. Tick, we achieve that. And ultimately, the class sustainability and what we're trying to do. And with that trust, it all comes together and you start driving sustainability. Now, you're telling me that you cannot fund NMT. You can. It's how you package. And it's how you then pull these things together to make it a successful program. I love this program, I'm passionate about it. If I want to smile, I go there. It's stunning. I hope this has helped you a bit. It's a bit of a different presentation, but certainly drawn some form of inspiration out of it. Thank you.